Hey, what's up, guys? It is December 10th, and it's day 11 this YouTube series. Gonna start to the people who left comments on my last video. You were right, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong. And I won't get into analyzing Kamala Harris's campaign and how the Democrats messed up because there are many more people that are doing that, and they're going to be doing that for many years to come. So I'll leave that to them. Besides, I think I said at the time that if Trump won, it would throw a wrench in what I had planned for 2025. But now that I've sat on it, not really, actually, nothing really changes as far as a general strike is concerned. It's easier to fight a weaker opponent, and the Democrats are just weaker than Republicans in many ways. Most of all, when it comes to pushing against workers in a coherent manner, like Republicans have their tools, but Democrats' tools are something that are easier to work with. Democrats don't really wield power, is what I'm getting at. Republicans do. Be that as it may, I don't really want to analyze that, again, because everyone's going to, and everybody already is, and I don't really care. Suffice to say to those who commented, you were right, and I was wrong. I actually wasn't planning on making a video, like I said in the last one, until January, but as you know, it's December. The reason I'm hopping on is because of all of the United Healthcare CEO's assassination and the person that they've reprimanded, Luigi. Sorry, I don't really know his full name yet. I just wanted to say a few words about class war and violence because it's really stirred up this conversation in a way that I've never seen really since I've been an adult. I think as far as class consciousness goes, this is a moment for the United States and everyone, be they on the left or the right, everyone who is not a multimillionaire is against this CEO. And if they don't outright support the assassin, they at least see where he's coming from and can understand the motives. I wanted to just talk about, as someone who has spent a great deal of time thinking about violence and its place in class war, I wanted to take this opportunity to try to reframe to many people what class war means really and how we should think about the rich. Was it right that this CEO was assassinated? Is this the only way that we can make change? I'm going to ignore all of that. Here's the right way to look at class war, and what happened to the United Healthcare CEO very much fits in within this framework that I'm about to construct to you. You, as the working class members, all of us collectively, as the working class, need to think about the ruling class in the way that they think about us. What do I mean by that? The ruling class actually doesn't want us to die. They don't want dead workers. What they want are miserable, confused, disoriented, angry workers, because those workers are easy to control and easy to beat. It's that simple. This CEO was murdered. I don't think that's a good way to wage class war. And the ruling class would agree with me. They don't actually want us all to die. If a famine takes off in the United States, there's no surer way that they will all be destroyed than if all of us go hungry. They don't want us that low. They don't want us to actually die because that will create real problems for them. Just like us killing them, the working class killing the ruling class will create real problems for the working class. Instead, what I urge you to do, and I want this to be a short video because I urge you to think about things in this way. This is how I think of it, and I think I'm biased, but I think this is the correct way to think about class war. Make their lives miserable, confuse them, disorient them, and take away from them the only thing that they really care about. I mean, I put it to you. This is quite an assertion, but I put to you, that CEO, Brian whatever, he actually didn't think he was going to die. He didn't think that assassination was a real risk for him. And a lot of these CEOs that saw this happen, as scared as they act on the outside, they don't think it's going to happen to them either. These people are delusional. They're delusional hoarders. So what do? You do what they do. You hurt them. You take their property. Instead of killing people, go after the one thing that they care about more than any other, which is money, and property. Do you know how easy it is to destroy a yacht? It's really easy. Do you know how much you would piss off a yacht owner? It would really piss off a yacht owner. And you don't even have to destroy stuff. I'm not even necessarily advocating for destruction. Like, check it out. If a yacht shows up in a port and it's denied entry, what do you think that does? It basically turns the yacht from a symbol of luxury and power and prestige and into a liability. It turns it into a weight. What do you do? Now where do we go? What are we doing? If yachts were denied entry to every port along the East Coast, not really very useful having a yacht then, is it? Not on the East Coast anyway. Almost like having a yacht on the East Coast would be a burden. All of that money becomes negative. You got a $50 billion yacht. Now you have a negative $50 billion white elephant that you can't do anything with. And the same goes for people's cars. Imagine if there were no parking lots. You're driving a Rolls Royce, but no one will let you park anywhere. Whereas a Honda Civic gets parking. What I'm trying to say is, if we, the working class, treated the ruling class with the contempt and hatred for their property, the way that they hate our property, they don't want us to have a thing, not one thing, without them having a piece of it. Well, let's just do the same thing. I think that, hey, psst, psst, psst. Sorry, cats fighting. Think about it. The other thing I put to you is that this shooter, the guy who killed the CEO, Luigi, sorry, I still don't know his name. As much as you may think that what he did was admirable, I'm not even going to weigh in on that. I will say this, it wasn't creative. Shooting a dude in Manhattan, you don't get any points for creativity. I'm just going to say that. Now, if you were to deny Brian, the CEO, access to his property, or did like I indicated before and somehow turn his property into liabilities, there's a lot of creative ways to do that. Ways that don't involve murder. So that's my little thought for you. Class wars, sorry, my cats are fighting each other. Class war is being talked about right now in a way that it's never been talked about in my life. It was talked about in this country in the early part of the last century, but not in living memory, or at least not my living memory. And it bothers me to see this. Was it right to kill him or not? That's secondary. Like, we need to wage class war the way the ruling class does, with utter contempt. Just to damage them, just to annoy them, to irritate them, to pit them against each other, to make them angry. Because angry people make mistakes, as we saw with this gunman. Made some foolish mistakes and he got caught. And I'm not saying that like he shouldn't. I'm simply pointing out that being angry and worked up and disoriented, and this makes for mistakes. If we don't have to beat the ruling class to death. What we have to do is make their lives miserable the way they make our lives miserable. And here's the thing. There's so many ways to do it. So many. A lot of them aren't even criminal. Just make the air hostile. Make rich people, sorry, my cats, make rich people afraid for their cars, their planes, their yachts, their houses. Make them afraid for that property that they think is untouchable. It's not untouchable. If that person's not untouchable, their property certainly isn't. So, little thought, just wanted to leave you with that, and also point out that I was really wrong about the Democrats. So, I hope you guys are having a great holiday season, and I'll probably catch you next year.